If you've got a Bible or you have a digital Bible, we're going to be in 1 Samuel 23 today. 1 Samuel 23. We've been in a series called Watching the Throne about the life of David. Have you ever had to go through something again and again and again? Like you thought it was over, but then you find yourself back at it one more time. It's like Groundhog's Day with Bill Murray. Or if you're, in below your 40s or late 30s, maybe you could think of like that Tom Cruise movie, The Edge of Tomorrow or whatever it was. It's like this repetitive thing just over and over and over again. And it just doesn't seem like it'll go away no matter what you'll do. And that's what we're looking at in the scripture today. We're going to read and catch up with David and see where he's at with Saul. I was talking to my brother yesterday about this message. I was like, hey, I'm preaching a message, and it's Saul chasing David again, and David's on the run again. And as I said it, I was like, that's really what this whole message is these repetitive struggles that we have that maybe we thought we had overcome or we thought they were done, but then they just show up one more time. Let's start in verse 1. It says, now they told David, behold, the Philistines are fighting against Keilah and are robbing the threshing floors. Therefore David inquired of the Lord, shall I go and attack these Philistines? And the Lord said to David, go and attack the Philistines and save Keilah. But David's men said to him, behold, we are afraid here in Judah. How much more then if we go to Keilah against the enemy of the Philistines? Then David inquired of the Lord again, and the Lord answered him, arise, go down to Keilah, for I will give the Philistines into your hand. The answer hasn't changed, it's the same. And David and his men went to Keilah and fought with the Philistines and brought away their livestock and struck them with a great blow. So David saved the inhabitants of Keilah. When Abiathar the son of Ahimelech had fled to David to Keilah, he had come down with an ephod in his hand. Now it was told Saul that David had come to Keilah, and Saul said, God has given him into my hand, for he has shut himself in by entering a town that has gates and bars. And Saul summoned all the people to war to go down to Keilah to besiege David and his men. David knew that Saul was plotting harm against him, and he said to Abiathar the priest, bring the ephod here. Then David said, O Lord, the God of Israel, your servant has surely heard that Saul seeks to come to Keilah to destroy the city on my account. Will the men of Keilah surrender me into his hand? Will Saul come down as your servant has heard? O Lord, the God of Israel, please tell your servant. And the Lord said, he will come down. Then David said, will the men of Keilah surrender me and my men into the hand of Saul? And the Lord said, they will surrender you. Then David and his men, who were about 600, arose and departed from Keilah, and they went wherever they could go. When Saul was told that David had escaped from Keilah, he gave up the expedition. And David remained in the strongholds, in the wilderness, in the hill country of the wilderness of Ziph. And Saul sought him every day, but God did not give him into his hand. I've called today's message, How to Have Success in the Struggle. Notice I didn't say how to have success over the struggle. This is how to have success in the struggle. The thing that won't go away. The thing that keeps coming back. And I don't know what that might be for you. It could be your health. It could be a situation at your work. It could be a family dynamic. And you've tried everything to get over this. But it still continues to linger and persist. It's like your own personal Saul that's just chasing you day after day. If you're in a situation like this morning, I just want to encourage you that you're not the only one. Not only are you not the only one around, but you're not the only one even in Scripture, because David is an example of somebody having to go through consistently a challenging situation. And our first point this morning, which is really just kind of a little aside, but you should know, is that even when you're struggling, some people will rat you out. Some people will rat you out. Notice how David goes and he saves the inhabitants of Keilah, right? He literally saves them from the Philistines. And as a reward for his amazing thing that he did for them, they decide that they're going to turn him into Saul. Have you ever like done good for someone and all that you get back is pain? You try to help somebody and then in return, all they give you is ratting you out or betraying you or being mean to you or abandoning you. And I also just want to tell you this morning that happens. It happens. And it stinks. And it's no fun. But I also want to encourage you that that doesn't mean that you should not do the good that God has called you to do. Because Paul says in the book of Romans, he says that when you do good to your enemy, he says if your enemy is hungry and feed him, if he's thirsty, give him something to drink first. By so doing, you'll heap burning coals on his head. It's like that act is going to stick with them. The fact that you love them, even though they knew they weren't doing that to you behind your back. And it's going to come back and maybe even be the catalyst for them to see something change in their life. Yeah. You're heaping burning coals on their head. You're killing them with kindness. Yeah. You're loving them even though they don't deserve that love. And eventually, God may use that to turn things around. And not only that, but if you do that and God's told you to be good and you do it and that person doesn't reciprocate, you have the confidence that like David, God can still protect you. That's right. Even though the people of Keilah ratted him out, God gave him in advance a warning to leave. He knew what they were up to and he's like, okay, I gotta get out of here. I wish I could stick around and like beat you up now that I've saved you and you just betrayed me to Saul, but I've got to leave. And God will be faithful to give you advance notice if you need to get out of a situation, as long as you're obeying him and following him. So, okay, first like real point, that's just kind of an aside. If you're taking notes, the first real point, if you're wanting to have success in the struggle, is that you need to seek the Lord. You need to seek the Lord. Like, wow, this is a really basic message. Well, it's right here in the text, right? David is constantly inquiring of the Lord about what he should do. He's like, should I go down there and battle them? And then the men are upset with him. Okay, I'll bring it back to God. Should I go down there? God says, yes, you should go. And all throughout this chapter, is Saul going to come here? Are they going to betray me? And he just kind of has this habit of bringing everything to God in prayer. And I want to encourage you today to cultivate your prayer life. Prayer it's primarily intimacy with Jesus is what prayer is. It's conversation, it's dialogue with heaven. But it's also our source of protection, wisdom, and power. Prayer is the means by which every good thing from God flows into your life. I'll say it again. Prayer is the means by which every good thing from God flows into your life. It comes out of this intimate connection with God. And every great man and woman of God in this book and in history has been a person of prayer. David was no exception. He sought God. He's like, I got to get the priest here. I got to get the ephod here. This is ancient kind of ritual of how they would seek God back then. And he's like, especially in this situation where my life is literally on the line, I've got to make sure I'm making the right moves. And I think that when we're in a trial, when we're in a difficulty, it kind of gets a little bit easier to seek God because we're like, God, like, I really need you. Yeah. You ever notice you go through a hard time and your prayer life just skyrockets? Like, it's like, God, I need you. But what we really need to be able to understand is that our life's on the line all the time. Like, we think we're safe. We think things are fine. I'm not trying to scare you. Like, there's going to be some horrible attack tomorrow. I'm just saying, like, in terms of, like, your spiritual life, it's on the line all the time. Yeah. Like, your day is too important to not start it with seeking God. That's right. The decisions and the choices and the actions and the things that are going to happen in that day, it's too important to not include God in what you're doing. And when we just go through our day breezing by without ever talking or consulting with God, it's actually arrogance. It's a lack of humility. It's thinking that we've got it on our own, and it's really foolishness. David, his secret weapon was prayer. And if you're looking for kind of like a sub point to this point, seeking the Lord keeps you safe. Seeking the Lord keeps you safe. David avoided so much pain by just asking God what to do and then doing it. So many of us put ourselves in dangerous situations because we just do whatever we want to do, or we don't ask God, or we don't do what he told us to do. And when we do that, we're actually putting ourselves in harm's way. And what I would just encourage you with this morning is you have the omnipotent, all-knowing, all-powerful, all-wise God. Why don't you just tap into his wisdom? Like, why don't you ask him for insight? Seek him. Pray in the morning. Pray in the evening. Pray all the time. Don't assume, well, I prayed about this once, so I must be fine. It must be good. Like, keep praying about things. Keep bringing things to God. There's a famous quote, those who include God in all things will eventually see his hand in everything. Those who include God in all things will eventually see his hand in everything. Do you need to see him in your marriage? Include him in your marriage. Pray with your spouse. Bring God into your home. Bring God into your raising up your children. Like I remember just not that long ago, our son was really struggling in school. And I was so convicted because I realized I had not been praying for him like I should be. Like I was like, I pray more for the church than I pray for my son. And I was so convicted. And the next morning, I woke up early because that's what it was going to require to be able to spend time with God in prayer. I woke up early and I prayed for my son. And from that day forward, things started changing for him at school. And it's like, how much are we missing by just not including God into the daily stuff of our life? I think I've heard it said before, like, be specific in prayer. Like, treat prayer like a menu at a restaurant. Like, don't just say, God, just bless us. Just, be nice, please. And like, everyone, I just pray everyone's kind. Like, be specific. God, I'm asking for you to do this. I'm asking for you to come through like ordering a menu from the restaurant. I want this burger. Ask specific things for God. And I don't think that's not like an insult to God. God's actually happy to receive the specific requests. Because then when he comes through, he gets all the glory, right? He did the specific thing that you asked him to do. He wants to know what's on your heart. He's like a good parent who wants to know, what is it? Not just like, hey, I want to have a good birthday. I want to have a Chuck E. Cheese birthday. Okay, I can give you a Chuck E. Cheese birthday. But if you say, I want a good birthday, well, what does that mean? Be specific with your Heavenly Father and watch him come through. So David sought the Lord. And if you're in a struggle this morning, make it a habit, even if it seems so dry, because it says David's in the wilderness, right? It seems so dry. Just keep seeking God. Keep seeking God, even if it seems like he's not there. Even if it seems like he hasn't come through yet. Even if it seems like he's far away and distant. This is a dry season, and you need water now more than you ever have before. So even if it doesn't feel great, keep doing it because he's your source, even in the trial. Secondly, in a season of struggle, you need some encouragement. You need somebody, as this says, to strengthen your hand. Look at these verses. David saw that Saul had come out to seek his life. David was in the wilderness of Ziph at Horesh, and Jonathan, Saul's son, rose and went to David at Horesh and strengthened his hand in God. And he said to him, do not fear, for the hand of Saul my father shall not find you. You shall be king over Israel, and I shall be next to you. Saul my father also knows this, and the two of them made a covenant before the Lord. David remained at Horesh, and Jonathan went home. Man, when you're struggling, you need some people to encourage you. Encouragement, what it literally means is to put courage into someone. Encouragement. And all of us need that from time to time. I like to be around encouraging people. I don't know about you, but if you're an encouraging person, please come around. And whatever kind of encouraging thing you want to say, please say it. We need more encouragers in our life. And by the way, I think we should kind of all default to encouragement. Yeah. You never know what someone's going through. And if you're going to I don't know which way to go, this way or that way, just default to encouragement. People need encouragement all the time. And so please, if you have something encouraging to tell someone, don't just think it, tell them it. Because it's going to give them courage. And you never know how much that can mean. You never know how sometimes, and I almost hesitate to share this because I don't want you to think that you need to do this for me all the time. But there's some times where some people, maybe they have a special gift of encouragement. There'll be weekends where maybe I thought it was rough or my message was horrible. I'm man, I don't know what's going on. And then someone will come on a Monday or a Tuesday, man, that just spoke to me so much. And oh, maybe God was using that, Now, I'm not telling you that so after every Sunday you're but I'm just giving you an example. Yeah. People need encouragement. Do you have encouragers in your life? I think about the men's prayer we've got going on Sunday mornings right now. It might be small, but it's these guys encouraging each other in their faith. And then they get out and then they set up and do this work around the church. And by the time you get here, it's all done. And I bet they do it twice as fast because they pray. And God gives them extra juice to get it done. And we have small groups and we have the monthly all-in nights. And all these are sources of connecting you to encouragement. Yeah. So that you can keep going in what God has called you to do. And I love how Jonathan, his method of encouragement is to remind David what God has promised. David, you are going to be king. I know you're in a cave right now, but you're going to be king. God's promised this to you. And even my dad knows this. And he's just reminding him. How often do we just need to be reminded of God's promises? God is still good. He's still got a good plan for you. He's going to bring you through. He's not done with you yet. Don't give up. We just need encouragement all the time. And that's why Hebrews 10:25, it says this, do not neglect the meeting together of the saints, as is the habit of some, but encourage one another. But encourage one another. It says, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another. This is why it's so important that we come together, so that we can encourage one another to continue to follow Jesus, to continue to see his plans for our lives. And then David and Jonathan, they have this covenant. They already have made a covenant, but now they're making a new covenant. It's every time they get together, they're just making a new covenant. But I do think it's important to kind of renew those commitments. Whether it's in your marriage, whether it's with your friendships, when you get together, it's hey, I'm here for you. I'm gonna commit to this. We're people who make commitments and then we quit commitments, right? We need to renew our commitments. Yeah. And David and Jonathan, they make another covenant with each other. So let's continue. Just got 2 more points. If you're in a struggle that is not necessarily maybe a trial, but it's more of a temptation. Maybe the ongoing persistent thing for you is you're battling some kind of serious temptation that just wants to keep at you all the time. Whether it's your anger or it's lust or it's greed or it's envy or it's gossip, and it just kind of constantly, or addiction or partying with those people, and it's just constantly coming back. There's an encouragement for you in this. I'm not going to read all of the rest of this chapter. I'm just going to focus here on the end, because Saul keeps coming after David, and he finally finds out where he's at, and they get so close to each other that they're on opposite sides of the mountain. And then it says, Saul went on, verse 26, Saul went on one side of the mountain, and David and his men on the other side of the mountain. And David was hurrying to get away from Saul. As Saul and his men were closing in on David and his men to capture them, a messenger came to Saul saying, hurry and come, for the Philistines have made a raid against the land. So Saul returned from pursuing David and went against the Philistines. Therefore, that place was called the Rock of Escape. And David went up from there and lived in the strongholds of En-Gedi. And I just want to encourage you this morning. when temptation is coming after you and it won't stop pursuing you, there is a way of escape.
That's right.
There is an out. You don't have to return to that situation. You don't have to keep doing that thing. You don't have to go back to being that person. There is a way out. That's why 1 Corinthians 10:13, I love how it says it. No temptation has overtaken you. Isn't that interesting? It's like Saul coming after. No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond your ability, but with the temptation, he will also provide the way of escape that you may be able to endure it. Listen, there's a way out. There's a way out of that temptation. Well, how do you find it? First, you need to look for it. Some of us, we aren't even like looking to get out. We're kind of like being in right now. Like, you aren't even looking for the escape hatch. I was thinking about that fighter pilot who got shot down over Iran. And of course, like as he's getting shot at and the plane's going down, he has the ability, right, to pull the lever and it shoots him out of the plane so he doesn't crash. There's a way of escape. But sometimes you just aren't like, you don't know where the eject button is. You don't know how to get out of it. And so what you have to do to know the way of escape is before you ever get in the situation, you need to have made a premeditated decision. Okay, I know I'm going into this place. I know this is the situation. I'm not staying out past midnight. Or I'm not going out with these people. Or I'm not going to let that person's phone number still be stored in my phone. I'm not going to allow them, I'm going to delete that app. I don't need, I'm way out of the dating game, people. I've been married for 10 years, but what's the hookup app? Tinder. So you don't need Tinder, right? Get it out. Like, don't be like, well, Tinder's great. Like, I'm just looking for loving companionship, you know, the way of escape for you might be just don't even go around it, get rid of it, right? Yeah. There is a way of escape, but you have to be looking for it. You have to pray about it in advance. And then when you're in the moment, maybe there's a moment you come into that you can't prepare for, right? You're at work and the person is mad at you and you're tempted to blow up at them. Yeah. You need to just quickly in that moment, take a deep breath, short prayer, God help me. And maybe God will just give you the perspective to not respond the way you want to respond. There's a way of escape that God will always provide. I love getting this kind of insight into David's mind because not only do we get to read 1 Samuel, but then we see the Psalms and we get to see how David thinks. And some of his Psalms are directly related to these moments of the story. But I was looking at this Psalm, I thought it's so great for this point that we're talking about. Psalm 124 says, if it had not been the Lord who was on our side, let Israel now say, if it had not been the Lord who was on our side, when people rose up against us, they would have swallowed us up alive. When their anger was kindled against us, then the flood would have swept us away. The torrent would have gone over us. Then over us would have gone the raging waters. Blessed be the Lord who has not given us as prey to their teeth. We have escaped like a bird from the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken and we have escaped. Our help is in the name of the Lord who made heaven and earth. There's a way of escape for you. Austin, will you come up here? I'm going to briefly close. We're going to sing a song to close that really matches exactly what we're talking about, that I think will hopefully encourage you. I just want to look at verse 14 real quick. Again, it says, David remained in the strongholds in the wilderness in the hill country of Ziph. If you want to be successful in the struggle, you need to remain in the stronghold. Remain where God has called you. Don't bail. It's so easy to this is too hard. Maybe even I'm ashamed, or maybe I'm frustrated, or I'm angry, or this isn't turning out exactly how I thought it was. And sometimes the first thing we do is I'm backing up. I'm out of here. But when we do that, we actually remove ourselves from the very thing that God might use to turn our situation around. Remain in the stronghold. And when you're weak, remain in the stronghold of his presence. Like, let him hold you. Like let him put his arms around you. David is in the wilderness, right? Like, this is not just a literal thing. It's like he's in the wilderness season. But in this stronghold, he's held by God and he's safe. In the stronghold of his presence, Psalm 46:1, it says this: God is our refuge and strength. God is our refuge. Do you just need a refuge this morning? God can be your refuge. God can be your safe place. God can be the one that you run to when everything is falling apart. God can be the one that you voice your honest thoughts to. Oh, God, I can't handle this. This is driving me crazy. I didn't think I would still be here. God can handle that. And God would much rather have you come to him with your questions and your doubts than run away from him. He can handle it. Come to him. I love how some translations say about Psalm 46, it says, he is our fortress. When you're in a struggle, you need a secure and a safe place. And God can be that for you. Frequent the stronghold when you're struggling. Frequent the stronghold when you're struggling. And that's God's presence, and that's also places like this. Because this is a place where God's presence dwells and comes. And these moments, listen, guys, we need these moments in God's presence together, do we not? Like even today, haven't you already God's done something because we're here together. Like when you're down, double down. I'm going to remain in the stronghold. I'm going to remain in the stronghold of his presence. I'm going to run to him and voice my questions, my concerns, my frustrations, my doubts. Corrie ten Boom, maybe you've heard of her, famous, amazing woman. She sheltered and refuged Jews during the Holocaust in Germany. She hid them in her home. And eventually she got caught. And she got put in an internment camp with the other Jews. And she wrote a book called The Hiding Place. And The Hiding Place, she got it from Psalm 32:7. It says this. Psalm 32:7, it says, you are a hiding place for me. You preserve me from trouble. You surround me with shouts of deliverance. Listen, for her, for a while, their house was the hiding place. And many Jews were rescued and saved because they opened up their home. But even when they got caught and she got put in that camp, even though her outward situation was not safe, internally, she knew God is my refuge and strength still. God is my hiding place. God is where I can run to. And listen, you can yell, you can be upset, you can cry. Just take your struggles to God. He can answer them and he can handle them. And so the way I want to close this service is we're going to sing this song. That's actually a song we wrote here at Cross and Anchor, and I really believe it can be an encouragement to us today. And as we sing it, like let these words kind of wash over you and know that God is your refuge and your strength, and he is your sanctuary and your hiding place. Can we sing together? Feel free to sing as you learn, but you can stay seated.
Lord, how I love to sit at your feet. Oh, just to say what you mean to me. Lost in your gaze, the world fades away. Beckoned by grace, in your arms I'm safe. Lord, how I love how your glory dwells. Within your house is where I'll be found. Under your wings, you're my strength and shield. Marked by your presence with the holy seal. You are my sanctuary, my hiding place. To your presence I will run. You are my sanctuary. Here in your heart I find where I belong. Oh, I find where I belong. Oh, I find where I belong. You lift my head, make my spirit sing. In joy I will worship the King of Kings. I'll bring you a song, my life's offering. With shouts of praise, you are welcomed in. Oh, 'cause you are my sanctuary, my hiding place. To your presence I will run. Oh, and you are my sanctuary. Here in your heart I find where I belong. And you are my sanctuary. Here in this day, to your presence I will run. Oh, 'cause you are my sanctuary. Here in your heart I find where I belong. Yes, I find where I belong. Oh, I find where I belong. Lord, you will find me, you will meet me in your holy temple. Lord, you are anointed, and you're dwelling in your chosen people. Lord, you will find me, and you meet me in your holy temple. Lord, you are anointing, and you're dwelling in your chosen people. In your chosen people. You are my sanctuary, my hiding place. To your presence I will run. You are my sanctuary. Here in your heart I find where I belong. Here in your heart I find where I belong. Yes, I find where